All right, look at my desk here. See all those batteries? Some of those I've tested, but some of them I haven't. I still have to test, like these ones right here. I have to see what the hell those are and if I want to buy them. These ones are actually already on the website. These ones are, I don't have them on the website, but these seem to be pretty cool, either 13S or 14S. Actually might be 15S. So, and they have those little connector here. So this might be a really cool stuff. But anyways, today I want to talk to you about one of the coolest batteries. Most of these are 36 volts 10S. And today I'm going to show you my favorite one, and I'm going to show you why that is one of my favorites. Let's go to my table over here. Okay, so here we go. This one I don't even know where these are from, but we have decided that we're going to call this an R5 because we've been calling all our e-bike batteries that we don't know where they're from an R series, right? And this one actually has an R, so I don't know if that was a coincidence or it has to be because then we did, right? So anyways, these are my favorite 36 volt e-bike / scooter batteries. These might come from a scooter or it might come from an e-bike. I mean, the differences between these are very small, right? And so here's the thing. Most of them come like this without the connectors. For some reason, someone cut the connectors. There's nothing we can do about it. All we can do is offer them the way they are. Now, the first things you would have to do, obviously, to use them, then you have to put connectors. I just added these connectors, soldered them in there, right? And then we're gonna try to wake them up. But before we do that, let's talk about what's inside of these. When you open them up, can you open them up, right? A lot of people are gonna ask that. You can. It is not easy. These are all glued. They're put together very, very well. They're glued in here. So you have to use some kind of vise. You have to crack it all the way around, and then eventually you will be able to crack it open like this, right? You have to take off all the screws, obviously, before you do that, right? And then there are 2 more or 4 more screws in here to hold it in there. So there are a couple of variations when it comes to the BMS. See, this one, I just took it off already, and there we go. This is the batteries that you can find inside. There's a very popular NCR 18650BDs. These are very, very high quality 18650s, 3200 milliamp hours, right? There's Panasonics, essentially the same or very similar to what Tesla uses in their vehicles. So this is a little chunk of like a little Tesla battery in here. I mean, it's, not really, but it is. The similar cells by the same manufacturer kind of thing. So there are a couple of variants when it comes to the internal BMS. You see, some of them look like that. Some of them look like this. But I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the BMS looks like. I think, they were just probably using like off the shelf one at the beginning, and then what they ended up using, and then it just integrated it in here. Although this probably works better because it's got a heat sink in here where this one doesn't. This one only has 4 of those, where this one has 4, 1, 2, 3, and this one might have, well, no, actually they're about the same. I think this one has 3 of those MOSFETs. And this one has 4. Maybe this one needs 4 because it doesn't have the extra heat sink in here. So in order so less power through these, so they don't have to dissipate as much heat. Okay, so here we go. Look, we have some writing in here. ARPU 10S, 15 amp. V version 1.2. This is version 1.1. There we go. See? And it's the same thing, 15 amp, right? So I guess these are rated at 15 amp output. They're 12 amp power, 36 volt, right? Battery packs. So let's see if we can wake one of these up and see what it would take. Okay, before we do that, this is the reason why this is my favorite. Look, this is silver packs that we sold about 10,000 of these, and these were great. These ones right here are exactly the same cells, right? And are almost identical on the inside. The only difference is that the BMS is different, right? And so this BMS on the silver packs required that specialized digital key to turn on the BMS. Remember, like we have to do the little dongle here, this thing that we put it in there, and then they had the connectors that were, you know, specialized, and we had to buy them, and they turn out to be a big mess or whatever. But a bunch of you guys are using these packs this way. So this thing right here, it's an Arduino, would send that specialized key signal to wake the BMS up and to actually let it run. Now this one's right here, these black packs, don't require that. This is just a straight up BMS. All it needs to know is have voltage on all the cells. The temperature has to be within range, and then the BMS should come on. And so you don't require any specialized signal from another device to wake these up. So that's why these are my favorite of these packs. High quality, but without all the nonsense of having to send that digital key. So now let's wake this one up. First, let's test it. Let's put our thing here on DC. We'll put it in the input here. 6 volts. So that means the BMS is off. Let's do the smaller connector here. Let's see if it recognizes it. Okay, 5.6 volts, right? So very low. That means both of those circuits are off. So we're gonna attempt to charge using our little 42 or 36 volt chargers that we have on our website. We have thousands of these things. So they're great. They're built for 10S packs. And so that's what we're gonna do. So here's how I recommend doing it. And we're gonna try it, right? Actually, let's try it this way. So the proper way to charge, or the way these batteries were designed, was to charge on this little port, right? The connector with those little cables. But what happens is, with all the other packs that we've been doing, is that sometimes if the cells or the BMS is off, it doesn't turn on. It doesn't wake it up when you charge it. You first have to charge it through the main connector for a little bit, bring the voltage up of the cells, I guess anywhere above 30 volts, and then this port then starts working after that. Now, how does that make any sense? I don't know, but that's just the way that these packs behave. And so let's try this one. I haven't actually played with this before, like this. Okay, so here we go. Okay, see, so that's exactly what's happening. You see that green light means that it's not seeing a load here. So this charger's not doing anything. You can leave it there for a long time and nothing's gonna happen, because this is completely off. And so it's no difference between being connected to being connected. So this is not connected to anything, basically. The MOSFETs inside are turned off. So I'm gonna disconnect the charger. And the reason I do that is so that it doesn't have full voltage in here when you connect this, because sometimes it sparks, and then the more you spark in here, it starts ruining your connectors, right? So what you do is you connect it first, and then you connect the charger. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so what happens is that the load in here is greater than 1.7 amps. And so what this charger is doing is that it detects a larger load, right, or more resistance that exceeds the 1.7 amps that this thing can do. And so what it's doing is it turns on and then it turns back off right away. But every time it turns on, it sends just a tiny bit of power into the batteries, and so the batteries will start charging a little bit, and then the voltage goes up a little bit, and then it goes up a little bit. And sometimes this will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes it will take a couple hours, depending how bad these packs are low, right? And so eventually this will turn solid red, and when that happens, then it starts charging. And after it goes above like 30 volts per pack, right? So 3 volts per cell, then you should be able to charge it through here. And then through here, all the benefits of like all the features of the BMS should work, like the balancing and the temperature and stuff, right? We don't know what features work while this. I actually don't know if it balances yet. I have to do some tests to see, but just haven't had the time to do it. But I recommend charging through the port here once you're able to wake this up, right? So let's wait and see when it finally stays on, and then we can start charging it. Okay, so I thought about this a little bit more, and I realized that this is probably a better way to show you what is going to happen. I have this variable power supply, right? And it's connected to the battery right now, but it's off. So I'm gonna start pushing just a little bit of power, right? I don't know, like 100 milliamps. There we go, 140 milliamps, right? And the voltage is starting to rise up. It's 19 volts right now, 20 volts, right? So that's what the little charger is gonna do every time it blinks red. It's gonna blink, it's gonna push a little bit of voltage in there, and it's gonna blink again and push a little bit of voltage. This voltage just keeps rising and slowly keeps rising. Now it's at 21, right? And it doesn't need a ton of power to do this. In fact, the slower you do this, the better it is for the cells, right? Because they're low. So right, so after a few minutes, now this should be sitting around 30 volts. Should be able to plug in our charger to the smaller charging port and then turn it on there. There we go. Now the light is red. Now you leave it there in about 2 hours. Well, actually, no, more than that. Oh man, it's gonna take a long time. From fully discharged like this, I think it's gonna take somewhere like 10 hours to charge using this charger. It's just a big battery and kind of a small charger, right? 2 amps, and it's got 12 amp hours or 13 amp hours, something like that, close to 13 amp hours of the battery. So it's just gonna take that long to charge, right? But you just leave it there, come back later, should be charged, then you can use your battery. All right, so I like these packs so much that I've decided to use those to electrify some of my vehicles, some of my buses. Now, I know what you're saying. Why are you gonna use those? Scooter batteries or e-bike batteries? Why don't you just use a Tesla battery like everyone else, right? Well, as it turns out, Tesla batteries are kind of scarce now, and they're going up in price. Currently, you can expect to pay about $1,500 per module, right? 5 amp hour module or 5 kilowatt hour module. So that comes out to be over $300 a kilowatt hour, right? These ones right here, I'm selling them on the website for $100 a kilowatt hour, and I bought them much cheaper than that, and so I am going to pay way less, right? And they're about the same cells. They're just as dense as a Tesla battery pack, right? But at 1/3 the cost. And so that is the reason why they're gonna end up going in this bus, they're gonna go in this bus, then they're gonna go in this bus. Another one of the benefits of it is that because they're so small, then you can put them in more places, right? You can build boxes that are of, weird shapes and stuff, so you can put them in there. There's also 2 different sizes of these, and so you can combine them because they're, at the end of the day, they're the same 30-40 cell pack, a 10S and stuff. And I've actually been doing some tests. Let me show you in the car that I currently drive daily. I've been testing these packs for a few months now. All right, so let me show you. This right here is my daily driver. This is the bus that I drive. It's got Tesla batteries in the floor, and where the gas tank used to go, right below this area here, right? But this pack right here, these are actually those. And these are not just here, you know, just to look pretty. These are actually part of the battery. They're connected to the battery. And when I charge this vehicle, it charges these batteries. And when I use this vehicle, it discharges these batteries. This right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 of these packs, right, at 400, almost 500 watt hours each one. So that's just shy of 7 kilowatt hours. That's about 21 miles of range that I get out of this tiny pack right here, right? And they've been here for several months now. I've been using them, I've been testing them, and it seems like they're gonna work. On my other projects that I'm gonna be using, I'm gonna be using 2 motors, right? And they have the higher voltage inverters, so I will need to put 4 of these in series. Right now these are connected in series, so 42 volts, 42 volts, 42 volts. At fully charged is about 126, so it's 111 nominal because there's 30 cells. If I add another one, it's going to be 40 cells. So 40S pack, that's what I'm going to end up putting in the other next generation of these vehicles with dual motors. And so they are going to have to, I'm going to have to build quite a sizable battery pack, somewhere around 50 to 60 kilowatt hours, right? So at 2C, there'll be no problem. It'll be able to push, you know, about 100 kilowatts that these motors can ask for, right? And so this pack is going to be great for that. It's going to be long lasting. It's going to give about probably close to 200 miles on a bus like this, right? And it's going to cost me about 1/3 what it would cost me currently to use a Tesla battery, right? So that's the reason why I'm so excited about these ones, and I'm using those. And I put some of them up right now on the website so you can buy these and use them for all your DIY projects, either storage, although, you know, these are great for this sort of stuff, right? So I would think that people, you know, will use them for that instead of storage. There's a bunch of other batteries that you can use for storage. So there you go. If you're interested in these, just go to jack35.com. You should be able to find them there, along with all our other e-bikes and current battery selections that we have there. I want to thank you for supporting my endeavors and all this battery stuff that I do. I want to thank you for watching these videos. We'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.